You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Sunday the 6th of July 2025 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. I was hoping to get the chapters signed off today, the last two chapters of Empress of the Trees, but truth be told, I really struggled to sleep again last night. And I woke up at about 5 o'clock again. I did go back to sleep and get a bit more sleep, so it wasn't as bad as the previous day. So I've had a really lazy day today. I have watched an awful lot of television. So I watched 4 episodes of Doc Martin, which I really, really adore. Last night I did manage to get the special episode watched, the one that I reordered because the Christmas one that I had only on an Australian DVD. So I watched that yesterday evening, and then today I watched the next 4 episodes, which is the first half of the 3rd series. And it's just a nice, gentle humour. The character he's a bit of a hero and an anti-hero at the same time. Martin Clues is so good in the part. But it's just, I love where it's filmed. I've visited Port Isaac, which is the real village that doubles as Port Wen. And it is quite a small place, so you can wander around and you can see all the locations. You can see the place that became Mrs. Tishel's pharmacy, the doc's house, the restaurant that Bert Large briefly ran, which is almost opposite the doc's house, the school where Louisa taught, and actually you could probably find where Louisa lived quite easily. Apparently it's easy to find the place when, I can't remember the character's name, but he had Auntie Joan in the first 4 series, and then she was replaced by another character for the last 6, and apparently where she lives, played by Eileen Atkins, I believe. Apparently where she lives, that location is easy to find as well. It's just a really charming series in a beautiful location. I absolutely love it. But one thing, I'm just going to put this out there, that not many people will know about Doc Martin, is that it actually started off as something else entirely. So there was a movie called Saving Grace. And one of the characters in it was a doctor called Dr. Martin Bamford. And he was a very, very different character to Martin Ellingham from Doc Martin. He'd split up with his wife because she'd been, I need to say something rude there, seeing another doctor behind his back, and ended up moving to Port. Well, I don't think the village was called that then, but he ended up moving to that village just to get away from his wife and stuff. And he's not a major character in the movie, but Sky Television liked the character, and they did a pilot episode for a TV show called Doc Martin, and it was all about Dr. Martin Bamford, who was the GP in this sleepy little Cornish fishing village, and it was okay. It was supposed to be a series, but what happened was they made this pilot episode, which I think was about 90 minutes long, and it's got a lot of the ingredients that make Doc Martin the series that we know, and it was called Doc Martin, but it was a completely different character. Like he didn't have any of the quirks. He was much more normal, womanizing, drinking kind of character. But it was a moderate success on Sky, and they commissioned a second episode called Doc Martin and the Legend of the Clutie, which got filmed and transmitted. And they were going to do more with it, and unfortunately, the company within Sky, I think it was called Sky Films, they weren't making any money, so Sky pulled the plug. So they didn't have a production company. So thinking that the idea had legs, Martin Clunes and the production company went to ITV and said, "Look, we've made 2 episodes. We think this has legs. Would you be interested in us making it for you?" And ITV turned around and said, "Yes and no. We think it has some ideas, but we think you should radically change the character of the Doctor, make him a bit more curmudgeonly, make him a bit more, well, basically a bit like the character that exists in the TV show now. So out there somewhere, and I've got them on DVD somewhere because they were available to buy in another country. I got them sent over. There are these 2 episodes titled Doc Martin that have a completely, Martin Clunes playing a completely different character called Dr. Martin Bamford. And then the show, when ITV started making it, they wanted all these changes, and obviously, so they started from scratch and created the show that we've got now, which ran from 2004, and the final episode was 2022. I don't think there's going to be any more. They probably could make more if they wanted to, but I think they're done. But it's a lovely little show. I didn't mean to spend the entire episode talking about Doc Martin. The last thing I want to say is, whilst I've not signed either of my last 2 chapters off today, I have gone through them in detail. Chapter 42 didn't need as much work as I thought it did when I podcast yesterday. Basically, it needed some stuff removing. So there was all the angsty stuff from about Marianne thinking about Mackenzie, which had kind of been cleared up in the conversation they'd had a couple of chapters before, which I'd forgotten about. So I've removed all those bits so it ties into what I'd already established. Rewritten a few bits and pieces, but mainly just removed angsty stuff that didn't need to be there. And then finally, chapter 43, the final chapter, the last chapter, I've read through that. I had a feeling it was almost exactly as I wanted it to be, and it absolutely was. There are no major changes I feel I need to make. It's hopefully it's quite a punchy ending. It's quite sad, but it's quite sweet as well. Some characters get happy ends. What the hell is wrong with me? I never write that. I also had I've got at least 3 people who've said they will read it for me, beta read it for me, which is fantastic. That'll be coming out soon. As I say, my plan now is to sign off these chapters, hopefully when I'm less tired, tomorrow. So tomorrow I should sign this off. Then I will literally create a PDF book version of it and have it sent to me as a physical book to give one final read through before I then I will make a couple of amendments from that, and then it will go out to the people who have said they can read for me. And there's a couple of other people I'm going to ask. Anyway, that's me done for today. Hopefully I'll be able to report back tomorrow to say that the second draft, version 1, is signed off. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.